Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. This is a real show. I'm back with my cousin Patrick.
Patrick K, happy to be here. I had such a great time the last time I was on the show. I figured I'd come back and we could chat a little bit more.
Oh yeah, we talked about the desire to inspire.
Yes.
We got a little bit into, your dreams as a kid about
Yeah.
wanting to be in the theme park industry.
Make your dreams come true. What was that guy?
That was Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Hey, I actually had a question from that last episode. You talked
Yeah.
about theme park. Is there anything that you built or were part of building that you're like the most proud of?
Yeah, so there's an entire theme park in New Jersey that was called the Nickelodeon Universe. It's in the American Dream Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my biggest project. And then I've worked on a lot of stuff that's been like conceptual. But yeah, it's my biggest project to date. It opened in 2020.
Nice.
And then a water park too. There's a separate water park.
And then in your time with Disney, did you perform in that capacity at all?
No, never. I never worked in that capacity. I was in operations at Disney,
Okay.
working in operations.
Okay.
And then good friends with Imagineers, guys who I've had the pleasure of meeting who have worked on Disney attractions.
Yeah, my sphere is very or like Imagineering, Universal Creative. Like it's once you're in the industry, you're.
But it's so cool, like to be going to Disneyland as kids, watching Nicktoons as kids, and then you're designing Nickelodeon rides as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on Ren and Stimpy, Legends of the Forbidden Temple, Hey Arnold. I mean, just like a ton of things I've touched on. That was a lot of fun.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
TMNT, yeah, that became Nickelodeon.
All right.
And yeah, I mean, really, it comes to wow, maybe how do you get there, right? Do you build a dream? How do you build a dream?
I can
and
say
do that, right?
I can say one thing I learned. I was part of like a multi-level marketing company,
Sure.
RX, like trying to sell nutritional, try to sell supplements and everything. And they were just very inspirational. I think I talked about it on their CrossFit episode, but anyways, and they would say like get in front of people who are doing it,
Right.
or like if you want a Ferrari, go sit in a Ferrari,
Mm.
and surround yourself with being in it, a nice house, a Ferrari. That's like my idea of dream building.
Yeah.
Is just like surrounding yourself with it, seeing it as a reality, because it's hard to just imagine something in your mind, be like, oh, I want to design rides, and never have met an Imagineer,
Yeah.
never have not going to the parks all the time, or not getting to see the backstage, not working at the park. So I think that like that has to be a major part of dream building.
Yeah, well, it's there's interesting because there's dream building and there's dream executing.
Mhm.
So I think that maybe we could, if you want, we could touch on how do you build a dream? Like, and you're a guy who has a lot of ideas.
Oh, yeah.
and all that, and I'm a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about today is really just inputs from other outside influences. I'm not a guru, but I've
Yeah.
watched a lot of gurus, and I know you have as well.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, and I think Oprah has said this, the Oprah Winfrey, of like the people who get to where they want to go know where they want to go.
Right.
So I got to be doing theme park design, creative direction, show writing because I knew I wanted to do that.
Sure.
And that's like the important thing. So what is your dream? If you know where you want to go, that's the most important step, is knowing that you want that. And that could be anything,
Yeah, no, I mean, I wonder, I know it sounds kind of woo-woo, but like, did you ever like sit there and like visualize it in your mind and see yourself as an Imagineer? Like kind of like Jim Carrey like saw himself as a major actor in his mind, and he was in tune with.
Well, and I'm not
They call it
theme park designer.
They call it visualization or manifesting. Like did you have moments
Yeah,
throughout
of course. I thought, yeah. I mean, do you think about it? And
I believe that I've been with you at theme parks and be like, you know what I would do if I was
Yeah,
in
yeah,
charge
of
here? I
course.
would do this, I would do that,
Yeah.
and like constantly, every time I was at a park with you, thinking about how you would improve.
well, and really, it's an obsession.
Yeah,
Being obsessed with your dream, and I could speak about it in my experience and other things. It's like, are you living and breathing, that thing that you want to do? And there's a lot of good points in this. Let's just say you have a dream. What do you go from there? First off, you have to look at your environment. And, people say, you're the average of your 5 closest people,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And so you have people, for a lack of a better word, who may have what you want. You have people who want what you want,
Mhm.
and you're the average of that. And that goes to socioeconomical, goes to relationships, goes to personality. And I went and I started to be around those people.
Right.
So if you want to be in that, and this is the big thing that happens all the time when I'm talking to people, and this is gonna be very specific to me.
Yeah.
People want to get involved in theme park design, and you can do that in LA, kind of, and you can do that in Orlando, very much so. And if you're living in the Midwest or somewhere random, you need to go where people are doing what you want. It's
Yeah.
just like people come to LA because for, acting or creative or entertainment, because everyone's trying to do it. So you can throw a stone and go to an improv class. You can find an improv troupe. You can find a film crew, people that want to do and create. So you have to surround yourself with people that want your dream. You know what I mean? And that dream could be anything. It could be going to the gym. It could be losing weight. It could be gaining weight. It could be muscle, whatever it is.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know if you have other examples of dreams to a quest. I could speak to it.
I would just talk about dream building like nowadays, because when I was growing up, it seemed like you talked about theme park design seemed unattainable, but even like having a show or like making music, like it was all about like paying somebody at a studio. Now you can do it at your
Yeah,
house.
you can do anything.
Now you can, you can film a podcast out of your house. You can make a show on your phone. I make a show on my phone.
Yeah,
So it's like, we have so many more, so many things that open up to us where like now anybody can almost do anything. You can make a really high quality movie at home.
yeah. Well, and I think that that's the difference with dream builders and dream doers and dream don'ters is the then this is very much specifically to the creative arts. The limitations are very low. Like the barriers are so low. And if you talk to any modern day, Christopher Nolan, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, when they were kids, they had a camera and they had kids that they were screwing around with filming things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're not obsessed with it and that is not what you want to live and breathe and do, it's probably not your dream, and you're gonna lose focus on it. So that's an interesting element too, is ensuring that it really is your dream to do it. And you have an interesting thing where you've had so many dreams
I
or
have a
so many
lot of
ideas.
dreams. I had
I
to I
know.
had to focus in on one thing. I picked podcasting because I can kind of incorporate all my dreams into it.
Yeah.
I can make different episodes on different things. But yeah, like when it comes to an obsession, like I'm doing Brandon K videos every day in March,
Yeah.
and it's like I enjoy it. So when you know that you're in the flow and enjoying something,
Yeah.
you're gonna keep doing it. I mean, like I never want to stop.
Yeah. Well, and that is the thing, is when you're talking about, definitive the purpose in the other desire to inspire. It's like, if this is what you really were meant to do, you enjoy doing it, and it knocks your socks off. And then I'll also say to this, not everybody has to have a dream that is also the same thing that is your career.
Right.
You can go and do any job,
Oh yeah.
and that's great,
Right.
and pay the bills, and then you have an extra activity. And sometimes there are benefits to keeping those separate, because
Sure.
when you're so, like me, I'm so passionate about what I do, and when you're a creative and you have your heart on your sleeve, it's nonstop. I'm nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop. It's nonstop at all
Well,
times.
I just like I said, when we're at the parks or
Yeah.
you are always wanting to improve
Yeah, Kia
parks.
cannot enjoy. My wife cannot enjoy when we're at the parks.
So yeah, you bring up like the obsession thing, and so like,
Yeah.
what is it in you like since a kid where you always are wanting to improve the
It's
parks?
ineffable.
What does that mean?
I can't explain it.
Oh, okay.
It's just
You because even now in your current roles and stuff, like you have an eye
yeah. I want to.
where
Yeah,
like people would come to you and say like, oh, what should we do? Because you have a large knowledge base. Patrick and I went to almost every theme park in the
we
country
did.
on
Yeah,
a cross country trip in 2011,
yeah.
and I got to see all the different parks with you.
You gotta
And
hear every complaint.
exactly, and yeah, and critique the rides, and hey,
Well, and really, it's about, and I think people have said this in movies, and there's a lot of parallels between theme park design and movies. Of create the movie you want to watch, create the
yeah,
entertainment
yeah.
you want to watch,
Kevin
and
Kevin Smith says that
yeah,
he just went out there and he made a black and white movie about him and his friends, and he called it Clerks.
yeah.
and he made it for like 10,000 bucks. He put himself in credit card debt,
Yeah.
and he's an inspiration to me. But like, he created what he wanted to see. I create what I want to see. It's so crazy because I watched you in your industry. Like, you got to go through a lot of people to actually
Yeah.
get something made in that industry.
You're very astute on that. Like I can't make a theme park ride on my iPhone like I can a
Mhm,
movie. I can't record a podcast or stream ride.
mhm.
And so you have to play the game, right? And you're not going to get rich off of theme park design, right? And so we
Yeah.
can talk about, and I have other aspirations on wealth generation and things like that.
But you stay passionate about it, 'cause so
Yeah,
that means that you have like a sincere it's a sincere dream and like a purpose for you to
yeah,
improve theme park rides.
yeah, and
Or no,
it's
build and design and improve theme park rides.
yeah. Well, it is when you're obsessed with the guest experience, which we call it, and trying to create the most impactful from all sorts of lenses and operations, and which I have because of my experience. I can't not walk through an experience. I can't walk through almost any place and not start to think about how this could be better. And when I'm in a place where I have the best customer service in the world, that's great because I've worked frontline.
Disneyland?
They have great customer. They generally do. They generally do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also bad days. There's also and then the thing is when you know what it can be and it's not,
Right.
that's then you're really pissed. But I have a lot of grace to like frontline people and all that.
Yeah, I
Um,
read. I'm trying to remember what that book was. The Last Lecture,
mm,
but he talked about the Disney difference and like how Disney goes above and beyond.
yeah.
So they set a precedent in the industry,
Yes.
and I don't know who tries to even live up to it. But like when you go to
Universal Parks tries to.
when
Yeah.
you go to Disneyland, you're gonna have the Disney difference. They're gonna go above and beyond, and you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like billions of dollars a year they're making. It's the most profitable division, and
Mhm.
you know, and this is why hundreds of thousands, actually, I'm sorry, millions of people go a year, tens of millions go to the parks because they expect it's a luxury experience. It's a premium experience.
Yeah,
Um, and you want to be just lost in it.
yeah, and
We-
I can't help but think of Walt Disney when we talk about
yeah,
Disneyland.
yeah.
He's like, what did he say?
Probably the huge dreamer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Said a ton of things about dream
I
building.
feel like he like weaved that into his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like he picked like a dream as
Dream
a
is a wish your heart made. Yeah,
makes, and
yeah,
like I don't know. I feel like he had a theme of like, hey, everybody, follow your dreams.
yeah. Well, and it's an interesting thing because I, I so let's presume that people here may have a thing that they want to accomplish,
Okay.
and how? Because it's one thing to dream. Okay, you get a dream.
Yes.
Have to know where you want to go, right? You
Yes.
can't get anywhere without knowing where you want to go. I'd love to talk about how to accomplish it.
Sure.
First, I'm gonna look at my camera and
Mhm.
f up the mic. Sorry. Your path to go is not going to be a horizontal line or going up. It's going to be this, that. It's going to be zigzag, going to go up and down. Hasn't that been your path to get
There
things done?
there are ebbs and flows, and there's
Yes.
going to be bad days, and there's going to be good days, and it's like you have to learn how to ride the wave.
Yeah, you ride the wave, you surf the wave, and sometimes you're the wave. You are the motion of it. That freak you out there?
No, no,
Your eyes are just going
sometimes you
glossed
gotta-
over.
No,
Yeah.
no, you are the creator of your own path to a large degree, but also there's outside influences. So yes, there's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the spirit of it, which is really important, and I'll speak to. I'll give a bit of background. Graduated in 2009. The economy collapsed. I tried to get a job in theme parks. Didn't do it. Went off and did other things. Started a company. That didn't work out. 2013, moved to Orlando,
Mhm.
and I knew I was going to break into theme parks in some way, theme park design. I was like, okay, the timing's right. It's gonna be better.
What did you mention? You moved there to break in.
Moved in. I had a
Moved there
U-Haul. I
to-
moved there. Slept
to
on a friend's couch.
Break into
Yeah.
theme park design because it wasn't happening here in Los Angeles.
I was just over. Yeah, I didn't want to try it again. I mean, I could have probably moved to LA. It was expensive, and I was
You
just
had
like,
more opportunities in Orlando. potentially.
and change. Yeah, I wanted to change pace, and so I moved there, and I worked as a host at a restaurant. So I went to a place that was considered the downtown Disney. If you're familiar with Disneyland, it was called Downtown Disney in Walt Disney World, and I just went to a bunch of restaurants looking for a host job. And I also was networking at different industry events, which is very crucial. Networking is really important to whatever if you're trying to do a career thing. And I ended up working as a host at a restaurant, and it was really challenging. It's the highest volume restaurant in the world at the time. It's called T-Rex. It's a dinosaur theme, like Rainforest Cafe, but dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Worst job you could ever have. And because people were mad, you couldn't bring a straw. They were just so angry. The line was long. All you would do is take them to the table, and they were pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And people would ask me like, "Hey Pat, you're happy every day. Why are you not happy?" The
You
visioning.
were happy or not?
You were not. You were. I was happy.
You were happy. Okay.
I was in this
why
job
were
where
you
everyone was
happy?
miserable, and I was
Why
happy.
are you happy?
The visioning, and I said, "Well, I'm going to be a theme park designer one day.
Oh wow.
There's no universe that exists where that's not going to happen.
Right.
So why am I going to be miserable about it? It's going to happen." And now we're 10 years later in my storied history of doing it.
Right.
And so if you have that mindset of the visioning,
Yeah. Yeah.
there is no world that's going to exist. So if you wanted to be an actor, Brand, or you wanted to start a podcast, I mean, here we are.
Podcast. This is a real show.
This is a real show.
Yeah.
I love that line, by the way. Every time I love that. If you have that mindset of there's no world that's going to exist where I don't accomplish it, you're going to keep in it. You're going to accomplish it. For an actor, which is also competitive, it can take 50 auditions to make it. It's the people that don't stick around to do it that don't get to where they want to go. That's the only thing stopping you. Generally, is yourself. I mean, we know people have different starting places and different hurdles that they face, but you're the person that's the most control of your own life.
Yeah, and I mean, you get into like the fear aspect and just living day to day life. I think that's what trip people up because you're maybe at a job you don't love, or you're going on an audition. You're like, I'm afraid this isn't gonna go. I'm not gonna get the job. So it's like, I think you were talking about a positive mindset of just like believing that one way or another it's gonna work out for you, and then
Yeah.
just not letting it affect you in the present moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is tough.
Trying to keep a
Yeah.
positive mental attitude. I remember at the time when you moved to Orlando, you were getting into like Dale Carnegie,
Yeah, yeah. Dale, how to influence and influence people must read that book.
and you had the notes written up on your
I did. Yeah.
on your refrigerator, and other self help uh, literature, which I believe probably inspired you greatly
100%.
to to just keep moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and 100% Dale Carnegie. You got to read that. How to Influence and Influence People. Amazing game changer of a book if you're trying to do things. And usually, dreams require other people. You need to, influence people to have you do that. Specifically, get hired, right? If it's a dream, and there's other dreams. Sometimes the dreams are, hey, I want to be a bodybuilder. Okay, that's you. That's all on you.
Yeah.
The fear,
Yes.
the fear of rejection,
Yes.
that is a real thing. And my career has zigzagged. I've had amazing jobs, and then I've been let go, and then I've had other jobs, and then I've gone down, and I've gone up, and I've done this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if your desire and your obsession is to do the thing that you're trying to do, and that will be inherent,
Yeah.
because what are you gonna do this weekend? Oh well, I'm gonna do this, and it's probably something related to what you want to do, and you're obsessed with it, and you're in your brain, you have to do it.
Right.
You're gonna keep doing it, and it's gonna work out.
Yeah, and no, I hear you. And
Yeah.
when you go and then you face like a big rejection, like a firing,
Yeah.
or like it's like your dream's not going to happen, then that's where you get challenged. But then you got to keep that positive mental attitude and just say, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it no matter what
Yeah.
the circumstances.
Well, and it's interesting because sometimes your dreams can evolve.
Yeah.
So we put a big emphasis of maybe you have a goal of X. Maybe it was starting the Brandon K show, and you want to get to 100 episodes, or you want to do 30 episodes in March, or whatever it is you want to do. I did what I wanted to do and have creative directed projects, theme park design, and all that. And then you're there and you're living in it.
Yes.
The journey there was great. It's just like that thing. Once you get there, it's like the journey there,
Right.
that exhilaration,
Enjoying the journey.
and then you're in it, and then pausing and enjoying that.
Right.
And so I did the things that I wanted to do. So now now I'm focusing on Giftiply
Right.
and focusing on making it, using things and the skills I've learned for that. Your dreams can evolve. And the journey is a major part of that dream as well. Like that thrill, the things you get, and the ups and the downs,
But it's interesting because yes, you're somebody who has dream after dream. You make multiple things
Yeah,
happen
I
with
gotta stop doing all that.
the gift
Yeah,
apply,
yeah,
wrapping paper, and the themed experience TV, which is theme park based.
yeah.
You also wrote a book.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I did write a
You
book,
you
co-wrote
you
a book,
you
yeah.
wrote the Tales from the Magic Kingdom. What was it called?
Yeah,
Yep,
Stories from the Magic Kingdom.
Stories from the Magic Kingdom, which was a whole story about Disneyland characters.
Magic Kingdom, yeah, yeah.
But but then like when you're branching out and doing these different things, you do stay on track with like I want to make like even still you're getting into your late 30s and 40s and you're like do you still feel like I want to make theme parks and improve on theme parks?
Well,
Yeah,
is he in his late 30s or late 40s?
I'm 38. Am I 38?
Late 30s getting into I meant late 30s.
Yeah,
Late 30s.
it's late 30s. Yeah, no, it's fine. Uh, I think that your circumstances around what you're doing can evolve and change, and um, so I'm interested in going through a career dynamic right now with it's COVID. COVID kind of threw me through a shut down my industry, and
Mm,
then I had been consulting with a company for 2 years essentially, and then that's not happening, and so I'm focusing on Giftiply. Um, my desire to do theme park creative, and I did it,
yeah.
and I enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
I could do it again. But right now, my eggs in my basket are really all about this charity wrapping paper. This show is presented by Giftiply. Where's my camera?
Yeah.
Giftiply.com. And so
Use the 25% off
yeah,
Why
no,
not?
promo
I
code.
know it's kind of a joke, but um, that's kind of where my mindset has been, and I've been friends with Patrick Feeney since we were in high school, and so being able to take the skills from that
Yeah.
and working with a friend, and being around people you love, which I do, like that has been important and an interesting shift. And so, will I be a part of theme parks? Sure. I'm sure it will happen. But if I can create generational wealth with my family, with this, and also um, with the industry I was part of, like it's probably, my office shut down during COVID and they laid us all off. And
Mm,
having to rely on a company and that can just lay you off at a moment's notice and all your dreams are shattered or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like there is a part of me that like has that entrepreneurial spirit of
Right.
I know I can create, I know I can influence people, I know I can create in the world. Maybe I should focus my attention elsewhere at the moment. So kind of like I did all those things. I don't feel like I didn't do them. And if somebody said, "Hey, can you come consult?" I do consulting on projects. So your dreams can evolve. Like right now, my dream is blowing up Giftiply and soon to be on, hopefully, many shelves in the world,
Hmm.
at a major,
So
major store.
so
Yeah,
you've transferred your obsession to gift supply in a way.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you start a company, you have to be obsessed and work it nonstop.
You have to be.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to.
Can't split your focus.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and also you have to pay the bills. You have a lot of things to balance. So I feel like, and we talked about this I think a little bit earlier. It's hard to keep track of the conversations we've had on these shows, but you you have to you focus on what you want
Yes.
and where you're going to have the most upside, and Giftiply is the most upside for me. Use BK show at checkout for 25%
25%
off,
off.
and then your dreams change. Like I want to. Being a theme park designer is really awesome for my sons. Um, but if I can show, hey, you can make a change in the world by creating eco-friendly
For
products
sure.
that benefit charity,
Hmm.
and look at this that we've built that's now a sample of what you can do. To me, like that changes. And also I can creative direct the hell out of an attraction as well, or a theme park when I'm done.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like I just have like life is a buffet
Yeah.
or a kitchen and you can make what you want. And I'm kind of like, okay, I had a lot of pizza. Actually, I had a lot of In-N-Out today,
In and
which I
out.
had In-N-Out. It was amazing. Um, check out that In-N-Out episode. I'm not sure we're going to air that. Oh, no. Yeah, you've probably already
Culinary.
happened. Yeah.
Culinary.
Culinary
Cuisine.
cuisine.
Yeah.
Um, culinary cuisine. That's probably like a double entendre. Um, it evolves, as you get older, and and part of that's probably my path that I had. That was I never just got, oh, I'm in Disney or I'm Universal and I'm on
Yeah.
this 20-year career path. I bounced around and I had different things thrown at me.
So we talked about like kind of the how to get into theme park industry a little bit. What about building a company? Like, what is the
Yeah.
dream building process of building a company of just from no basically you had no experience with gift wrap before you went in and made
No.
a whole
Yeah.
company.
Don't do that. Yeah.
So like
Um,
what would you tell somebody if I had an idea today to make figurines or make action figures that I designed? What would you tell me to do?
yeah. Number one thing, and uh, go work for whatever company whatever industry that you are trying to get in, work at a company and get paid to be trained. So if that's figurines, if that's comic book, go work for a comic book company.
Yeah.
If that's you want to be design theme parks, go work at Disneyland. If you want to, be in radio or do your own radio show, go work try to get an internship at a radio station.
Yeah.
Be somewhere involved where you can get paid to get trained and know how it is. Um, Pat and I, the co-founders of it, we have a lot of aspects of it, but we learned a lot along the way, and I think you can limit how much you do with that. Now, that's to say, the inception of Giftiply, which we've talked about on a prior episode, was kind of at a necessity of just
Charity chat.
charity chat,
Charity chat with
link in
Patrick
bio.
Sweeney and the
Will you pop it up right here
yeah.
on the
I
screen
can't do
on YouTube?
I'll,
Um,
I'll fix that in post.
yeah, fix that in post. Then narrate it. That never
Famous
happened.
last words.
Yeah, he never happens. Um, Essentially, it was out of necessity of I need to take charge of my life. I can't rely on companies to pay me in and all that. And I did explore a lot of different ideas, and I just felt I was too removed from them. Retail isn't something that I wish I would. I wish I had experience working at like Hallmark or a printing company of some sorts, or a distributor. That's a deficit that we have
Yeah.
that we're having to overcome. So work at a place. Bounce your idea off as many people as possible.
Right.
Start as small as possible, and try to have some kind of income coming in.
Right.
So I did start a company before that was a little bit more like social media based that didn't have any revenue coming in.
Yeah.
This change I did was, okay, we're going to sell products. Start slow. Just like you're doing with the swap meet. Start and build from there,
Yep.
and prove the concept out. It's like MVP, which is minimum viable product. The lowest amount of product that you can do with the littlest investment to prove your concept out is what you should do to get started. And we could do a whole episode about entrepreneurial advice.
Did
what to do.
you read books or like watch videos about people who made businesses like to get ideas?
Yeah, and definitely, there's definitely different books out there like Good to Great. I think How to Win Friends and Influence People is good. And then I'm constantly listening to podcasts about entrepreneurship.
Oh, and watching every season of Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Yeah, Shark Tank I did that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I think what the issue with Shark Tank is that it can make you believe that if they build it, they will come,
Mm.
or you build it, they will come. And sometimes no, people won't come, and it's not as easy as creating a product that people are going to get and just purchase. So I think you got to prove that concept out. And I'd also do a non-seasonal product, which our product is pretty seasonal, so which we're working on. But yeah, I would try to
Yeah.
avoid that.
I mean,
So yeah,
it's interesting because birthdays are year round, and there's
Yeah.
holidays throughout the year.
if you look at like the wrapping paper, it's like
Yeah.
it's like December, November, December, yeah,
And
which is okay.
that's the rush season.
Mhm.
So, any other final advice for all the aspiring dream builders out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, which is you don't know what you don't know, and so expose yourself to as many things as possible. If you're just find yourself suddenly, out of your house, out of your parents' house, have free time, go to improv class, go Toastmasters, join kickball, and just meet people as much as possible, and to try to see what they're all doing. And it was talked about a lot about achievable goals, and I think the bear system, you all talked about it,
Mhm.
which is knowing that you are going to need other people to be a part of your team.
Right.
And so the balance is that the features that I bring to the table and Patrick were very complementary. The co-founder of Giftiply and my other company that I started. And so know what you're good at and know when to find like if you're a creative person, find your producer. If you're a producer, find your creative. If you're an artist, like the idea that you're going to go and do everything, not going to happen. You need the Solomons of the world um, to balance out your creative ideation, and because he's actually, I mean, this is the crazy. I mean, can you get a shot of the studio? He is actually doing all these things that
We're
enable
looking at
people to do.
4 different cameras in front of us, 2 different screens, 5 different
Yeah,
lights, soundproofing, studio, all this cool stuff around us in this studio and another studio nearby. And yeah, I mean, it- there's no yeah, I've learned, through learning the swap meet or learning anything creative is like it takes so long to just learn all the nuts and bolts of any particular thing.
I wanted to hit
Thank
that
you,
all
Solomon.
day.
Thank you, Solomon. So yeah, here. Well, we have a few minutes left. Solomon, how long did it take you to put all this together?
Well, it was an evolved process. I mean, um, it took me, because you start with an idea, right? And the whole thing was like, I want to make it easy for people to create podcasts, and so you start with what you think you know,
Yeah,
and then people come in and sort of, shave the edges off for you. To oh, that's not a concept that's going to work. Or I need to
yeah,
change this. Or I need to add that. And so everything you see here now is an evolution of people coming in and using it, and giving you feedback, or you seeing their feedback and then changing things so that it sort of perfects. Not to mention, now you have an efficiency model you have to
yeah,
maintain, right? And so every time you think about something new, can I do that efficiently? Can I switch from this set to this set within 15 minutes? Can I add a camera or add a feature, but still be able to do it and then still be able to process it? And so all of those things play into effects. I think right now we're at sort of a perfect balance, but it so much of what you talk about like resonates, like, just starting with something. I mean, there are going to be some lean days, and
yeah,
that's if I can give advice to any entrepreneur, you're going to have days where you're going, man, I need to go get a real job,
yeah,
but
100%.
um but you got to sort of find your way through it, because that teaches you to be creative. It teaches you to be imaginative, and and it also teaches you what's most important, because you're always triaging. You're
Yeah,
always saying, okay, that's gotta wait, even because everything can't be as important. These are the things that are important. Keeping the lights on, keeping the rent paid,
yeah,
that's important. Everything else that can wait, if
Right.
it needs to. And so getting through that, I think, is important. And then once you sort of get there, it's appreciating what you have, maintaining what you have, and then figuring out how you want to scale, if you want to scale, whether that be
uh,
more employees, another location, or maximizing your current investment. That's always all stuff you got to think about. But yeah, it's a long journey.
well, and there are, specifically talking about dream building and careers, you know, when you own the shop or you own the company, there can be a lot of upside to that. But the downside is that you can't, there's no checking out.
Right.
There's no, I'm just gonna go, I'm 5 o'clock, I'm done. It's constant. It's if you have employees, it's constant worries about, okay, paying, making the bills. Versus if you're a W-2 employee and you're getting paid at, wherever, that path is great, and it can be, and you don't have to make your career your dream,
The weight of the world isn't on your shoulders as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just maintaining the job, not getting fired, and doing your best. Maybe
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a definite ceiling over you,
Mhm.
which is the difference.
And the upside is very limited, and not everyone, has that risk tolerance and to do that, and, it just takes, do you wanna be in control of your destiny? I was a W-2 employee working, and then they laid off our entire office, and then I'm on the street, or, I mean, there's no safety net. There was no
right.
safety net, and particularly in America, there's barely any safety net. So it's like, okay, do you knowing that, where do you wanna put your focus? When you're working all those hours, do you wanna be it towards potentially creating something that you can build yourself and own and have equity in? Or is it to make shareholders that you may or may not be money? And I respect anybody's choice along that matter. I mean, the world needs everyone.
Yeah.
But I think in some people, it's a different mindset. And you know what? Most businesses fail. So there's a risk and there's hardship and I would just say at the end of the day, I have no, there's no snubbery if you are working at a company and you love it, but it's more about being very realistic about, okay, well, what happens if X happens and
Yeah,
you're
but
gone,
it's just like, working at the T-Rex restaurant or
Yeah.
whatever we go through, which is like if your company completely crashes, it's like you still have it in mind like all the next company could be the one that hits, you know?
Yeah.
Never give up. You never give up if you have it in your mind that you're going to succeed.
Yeah. And it only
It'll be a
it only
challenge.
work it only stops then when you stop.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. It's like it's only gonna not work out if you stop. I
but
mean, then you have to like face the
yeah,
music if
yeah.
your thing's crumbling.
That's the thing,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Like you talked about that a lot earlier, just deciding what the right path to take is and when. But with that, I've been very inspired by both Patrick and Solomon. I like to surround myself with people who are living their dreams and talk about it on the show. I hope that somebody out there is inspired to follow their dreams.
And yeah, hit me up. Anybody ever want to talk? Find me on LinkedIn. You can Instagram me. I'm happy to chat. And just even if I'm so there's a lot about networking and things, adaptable things you can do to really entrench into any industry. I guarantee that the principles that I used to get into theme park, which is one of the most competitive industry in the world, you can use to get into whatever you're trying to do.
And with that, we're going to say continue to follow Brandon K every day in March. Subscribe and like it and comment because I'm not seeing enough likes and comments on
I
there.
like and comment as much
Yeah,
as I
we want to. I got to give some stuff to interact with,
can.
and so that I know how to improve my show. And thank you for watching, everybody.